Chris, thanks for joining us ahead of Friday's game against Leicester. Can I just check on team news from last night? I think Jay was limping towards the end of last night's game. Can you just have a quick update on him, please?
Yes, Jay obviously had a little bit of a knock towards the end of the game and was limping. He's obviously been assessed by the medical department today, so I haven't got the full extent of what exactly that is. We don't know any more detail to it, but he did take a knock.
Probably good for Alex to get 45 minutes into him after missing the Oxford game as well.
Yeah, it was really good because Alex hasn't done too much training between those games, but yeah, he did really well to get 45 minutes under his belt, which was pleasing. So another player back to the squad, because it's going to be like that. That's what it is now for the amount of games coming up. There's going to be injuries, there's going to be setbacks in terms of that. So good to get another player back. Following
the disappointment of last night, is it nice to have a game, sort of a short turnaround to try and put things right again?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're used to that. Every game, every 3 or 4 days. We haven't had too many disappointing results since I've been here, but that was one of them. So we've got a game to look forward to now and prepare for.
Despite the disappointing result, must have been nice for you to get 3 players make their debuts in some of the positives of last night's display.
Most definitely. I mean, like I said last night, I'll never know unless I give these players a chance and a game and in a competitive environment. So 3 debutants, obviously, all 3 new to the club and got some minutes under their belt. A lot of new players, new partnerships in there. But there was definitely encouraging signs. A lot of good stuff that I saw in the game that I did like and I recognised. Certainly looked like a Birmingham City team without maybe the normal fluidity and potency that we normally have, but I certainly recognised a lot of it, and that's credit to the new players coming in and getting into sync with how we play.
You can do lots of work on the training pitch and the analysis room and everything like that, but nothing quite beats a game, does it, for new players to get integrated, not only with their teammates, but also the way you want to play as well?
Definitely. It's really positive in that sense because it was a bit like the Walsall game in the EFL Trophy last year. Very similar time of year. We drew that game and lost on penalties, but I remember that game well. I put a lot of new players in, a few out of position. I remember it quite fragmented on the night as well, but what it did do, I think that was the debut for Davies as an example, who got going and got some minutes and sort of built from there. So hopefully some of these players can go on from there.
Lewis Kumas in particular was a player that caught the eye, played on the right, played on the left. Certainly looked like someone who's going to add something different to our team this season.
Definitely. I really liked his performance. I like players that play with intensity, energy and quality, and he's got all 3 of those things. He was equally as effective on the left or the right, carried on, looked strong physically in the game. One moment he fell down on the floor, got knocked down, straight back up again, went after the ball and won it back, and I think he's going to fit in well to how we want to play, and that's why we brought him in.
The attention now turns to Leicester on Friday, a team that's just come down from the Premier League. Where does this game rank in terms of the tests that we've had so far in the early part of this season?
Well, it's as big as they come. I think when I arrived at this club 14 months ago, there were teams were as far apart as you could possibly be in some senses. One had just sort of comfortably gone up as champions out of the Championship, and one had been relegated to League One. So fast forward, obviously we've been promoted and they've been relegated, but Leicester away for any team this season will be as hard as it gets, no doubt. But it is a game that obviously we're looking forward to. It was an unknown coming back to the Championship. How would we do in these different games? And this is another real test away from home against a top side. So let's see how we can get on.
You've spoken since last season's success and over the course of the summer about adding layers to your squad to deal with different scenarios, calibre of opposition. Is Friday's game just another example of that there might be periods in the game where we're going to be not necessarily under the cosh, but having to maybe defend a little bit more than we have done previously?
Yeah, I mean, you can only expect to have that against the top teams in the league. In any game, you're going to have to come under pressure away from home, no doubt. But definitely against the better teams, there's going to be those periods in the game that they have more control, and that's part of it. That's a big part of how they want to play as well. So we have to do our best to impose our game as much as we can. And part of what we've been working on this season is adapting to this new league, and when we have to be picking our moments and be a little bit more compact. We've generally done that pretty well, so we have to use all that for this next game.
Friday's game is another example of why we wanted to be promoted in the first place, is coming back to this division and competing in these types of games.
Definitely, I think it's it's kind of a Midlands derby. You're going there with the fans. It will be a Friday night game, a big challenge for us. But we go there as a club together, looking forward back at this level again to test ourselves against, like I say, a team that have been really strong at this level previously. So a big test, but definitely a game that we're all looking forward to.
Just finally from me, Chris, going back to one of your former clubs as well, just sort of reflect on the part that Leicester played in your managerial path and the coaching journey that you've been on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went there from Celtic to become assistant manager at Leicester, was there for over 4 years, so I know the club pretty well. Great respect for the club and the owners, Kuntop, and everything that he's achieved at the club. You know, they've obviously had some really successful years winning the Premier League, and then when I was there, we won the FA Cup as well. So know the club well, and I know the quality of a lot of the players because I've worked with quite a few of them along the way as well. So yeah, as always, it's going back to a former club. You kind of see some familiar faces, but anybody that knows me well would know that that's probably the last thing on my mind when I'm there. It's to go and make sure I can get a result for Birmingham City.
Thank you.